Cooking, an age-old human activity that started with fire in a cave and has led us all the way to the Cheez-It Crunchwrap Supreme.
Mamas, an age-young human activity that started with fending off a saber-tooth attacking your child and has led us all the way to exploiting them on TikTok. Combine these two concepts and you get popular 2000s video game series, Cooking Mama!
Tired of the same old PB&J?
Yeah.
Does a chicken pot pie make you want to cry?
Gross.
Are overcooked veggies making you edgy? Well, don't just sit there. You need a new mama cooking for you. You need Cooking Mama World Kitchen.
Cooking Mama is a cooking simulator video game that was released on the Nintendo DS in 2006. The gameplay consists of following food recipes step by step with the help of the game's star, Mama. The DS game was an instant hit and spawned 14 other spin-offs and sequels in the coming years.
Now, we were kids in 2006, and of course, we were gamers. Gamers for life, hashtag gamers for life. But we completely missed this series because it wasn't advertised as a boy game. No, we weren't playing that silly little cooking game for girls. We were too busy being indoctrinated into military propaganda as young boys, meddling in foreign affairs, committing war crimes instead of what? Learning how to make a pork dumpling? How cute.
We did catch games that didn't aim their marketing towards boys in the 2000s, but it was mainly due to exposure from whatever our older sister was playing at the time.
Games like DDR, The Sims, or Daniel Radcliffe poster on bedroom wall. So while we don't blame ourselves for missing Cooking Mama the game, we do blame ourselves for never really getting good at cooking. We're 27 and it's just not a skill we really have. And that's when we came up with a genius plan. What if Mama taught us how to cook?
So over the next few weeks, we will be playing through all 14 Cooking Mama games in order, while routinely testing our cooking skills to find out if Cooking Mama can actually teach you how to cook properly.
Didn't our friend Drew Gooden make a similar video on Guitar Hero?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, actually, now that you mention it, I could text him and ask him, but I won't.
The first game in the Cooking Mama-verse is the original 2006 Cooking Mama for the DS. The game allows you to use the DS touchscreen to make a variety of dishes from a list of recipes.
Now, if you're like us and you've never played a Cooking Mama game, you'd be surprised to learn that Cooking Mama is not a game about cooking. The game is just cooking. There's no story, there's one character, Mama, there's no kitchen to customize or kitchenware to upgrade.
There's no cooking competition or skill tree.
It's just a no bullshit game where you cook a food. In fact, it feels more like a simulator than a video game.
Yeah.
You're just kind of following steps during the whole thing.
It really is just that. There's nothing more to it.
You just cook
Cook
a food. Now, since you're completing mini games to cook and not actually cooking, some bits of the game can be harder than real life. One misclick can make it seem like you can't even pour water into a pot. And sometimes a mini game is so simple that it gives you a false sense of accomplishment for a basic task. Oh. Thank you, Mama. Did you see I put the time in right?
After cooking a few dishes, you can go to the Let's Combine mode, which allows you to choose any two recipes and combine them into something new. This feature is surprisingly detailed. They actually prepared art, directions, and recipes for all combinations so you can feel satisfied in being a little inventive.
They also have a use skill feature that allows you to practice all different forms of cooking. Chopping skills, stewing skills, bread, and tossing beef.
Even though the game is a bit bare bones when it comes to gameplay, you can totally tell why the first one was a hit. It seems to have a genuine appreciation for the art of cooking.
Just 1 year later, Mama was already back, but this time on the Nintendo Wii. Cooking Mama Cook-Off could have easily just transferred the touchscreen gameplay to motion controls and called it a day, but they actually did much more than that.
There's even a game mode where you can cook with friends from around the world to help you learn the dishes from their country. The game puts a spotlight on the cultures that the recipes actually come from.
This is a fun addition to the game, but also feels much more educational for the kids playing it. Rather than just assuming they're all Mama's recipes, they give credit to the countries they come from. And those friends from around the world also give you gifts that slowly decorate the kitchen as you cook more. All of this makes a sequel that clearly wants to be a better game, but also better for the people playing and the skill they're playing for. That being said, the motion controls are way less trustworthy than the touchscreen.
We all know that the Wii Remote was not exactly the most fine-tuned controller when it came to precise and careful movements. This can completely ruin a recipe when you're, say, trying to crack an egg at the perfect pressure, but your hand won't move after 4 swings, only for it to slam into the bowl on your backswing.
Or when you're making mochi and have to slam a hammer down at the right moment or else you'll break your hand.
So after having 2 Cooking Mama titles under our belt, it's time to put our newly learned cooking skills to the test.
Looking at recipes from the 2 games, we wanted to start with a hard-to-fail dish. Now, there was a dish for popcorn where all you had to do was heat up the popcorn and salt it, but that felt a little too basic for us.
So we decided on scrambled eggs because it seemed easy enough.
It's one of the first dishes offered in the game, and it felt fitting to start there.
This specific scrambled egg dish is a mixture made up of liquid, goop, and crab meat. So both of us headed to the store to grab the ingredients for the crab scrambled eggs.
Because everything is so wet, it seemed really important to know the exact measurements of what we were adding. But Cooking Mama 2006 only shows you these little bowls.
So we just had to aim for the amount of little digital bowl.
After getting everything else in the bowl, I needed to use a can opener to open the crab meat, which I failed almost immediately and got some crab juice all over my counter. Alright, it looks like I have accidentally cut into the side of the can. Okay, I had it flipped the wrong way. It's actually very easy to do, but I have spilled crab juice. But after toying with it for a bit, I was ready to slap that crab right into the bowl.
So we each poured it in a pan and mixed it. Unfortunately, as they started to look done, there was a ton of liquid still in the pan.
We both even overcooked our eggs, hoping the liquid would evaporate, but these eggs were simply too wet. Okay, so I'm pretty sure these are overcooked, but it's still wet in the pan.
We gave up as the eggs started to look dry and just plated them for tasting.
And the result was magical. They look sickly. They're not terrible, to be honest. Heavy on the crab taste. Obviously they're crab scrambled eggs, but like, goddamn. It's really all I'm tasting in these eggs.
It's like dry, but then there's like water at the bottom.
I got a hard piece of crab in mine and it grossed me out.
Cooking Mama 2 Dinner with Friends is the Dune 2 of Cooking Mama sequels. But first, as we digest these gross scrambled eggs, a quick word from our sponsor. Hi, I'm Tiny Eddie, and I want to thank SoFi for sponsoring the next portion of this video. Stick around to find out how you can have a chance to win $10,000. If you don't already know, SoFi is the all-in-one finance app helping you bank, borrow, and invest so you can achieve all your ambitions all in one app. Tiny Eddie thinks it's always good to have a detailed handle on your finances. SoFi offers credit score monitoring, budget insights on your spending, and an overview of your net worth in a free-to-use platform. If you're looking for a new budgeting app, SoFi has you covered. You can link all of your accounts, even non-SoFi accounts, making it easy to know where you stand, what you spend, and how to hit your financial goals. You can easily get a bird's eye view of your cash, monthly savings, investments, what categories you're spending money on, upcoming recurring expenses, and credit score all in one mobile dashboard. You can also add your properties so you can track the value of your home and monitor your net worth over time. And SoFi's credit score monitoring won't hurt your credit score, and you earn SoFi rewards points every time your credit score goes up by 5 or more points with no added cost. And with this video, SoFi is going to give away $10,000. That's right, you heard Tiny Eddie correctly. To enter, sign up for SoFi's financial insights or credit score monitoring feature using our link. It's that simple. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen to enter for a chance to win. Make sure you use our link, it's the only way to enter for a chance to win. Thank you, SoFi. Now it's time for little Eddie to get back to the big video. Immediately upon opening the game, you're greeted with everything that made Cooking Mama 2006 special, but better. The title screen features Mama, the children she cooks with, and this man in his 40s? Is that a kid?
Who is that? I don't know who that is.
I don't know. I've never seen that guy before.
In all of the Cooking Mamas so far, the Cooking with Mama game is meant to step-by-step teach you how to make the food. As we mentioned, the directions in the first game usually suck and stress you out. But in Dinner with Friends, Mama actually tells you what the hell you're supposed to do before you do it. For example, making a pizza starts with adding the ingredients as the first step. It says to choose the correct ingredient to add to the bowl from the hint given on the upper screen.
As opposed to 2006, where it says, boil the pasta according to the directions. Hey, you're the directions. I'm reading the directions right now. This change caused me to do much better on my first try for dishes. I wasn't perfect. Fuck. But I did my best.
I had Mama help me make waffles, which is as straightforward as you think it is. All I did was mix a bowl of flour and pour it into the waffle maker. After it was done, I was rated a score of 83. I was informed I made a friend. My waffles were so good I made a friend. I then found out that the character's name is Papa. Oh my god! It's Papa!
I didn't know there was a Papa.
She's married! But yeah, my waffles made him my friend. Imagine making waffles so good that your dad starts talking to you again. One of the major improvements of this game was an actual sense of progression beyond food you cook. You now get rewards when you cook dishes well. The visuals of the kitchen can be changed with different colored cabinets, outfits for Mama, and even the color of the utensils.
The game also features the Let's Cook game mode again, where you have to succeed with every step or you fail the dish entirely. You can cook with Mama, or who the hell is Chica? I failed my first cook with Chica because after successfully making dough, I had to poke it while it was rising. It gave me this exact size to poke it at, and when I clicked it, it shrunk back down to a smaller size. When you finish a dish, success or failure, the game also adds a feature where you can make an entry in your diary. You can also add fun stickers to your diary. So I added a mouth and eyes.
Oh my god!
What?
Oh my god, am I alive? What did you do?
I don't know. I don't know what to
did
do.
you do?
Cooking Mama World Kitchen came out the following year, and for the first and only time, it allows you to create a character.
Does this mean you create a new child for Mama? Or is this just some kid Mama is teaching how to cook? Either way, the game is nearly identical to Cooking Mama Cook-Off, with a continued emphasis on recipes from around the world.
It also features a couch co-op mode where you can cook together with someone. So Tony can violently break my hand while making mochi instead of a stranger's.
Ouch, you can do it.
But overall, this was the most fun we had with Cooking Mama so far because we got to do the chore mini games together. The next game in the Cooking Mama series is Gardening Mama, the very first spin-off where Mama gets a break and is allowed outside. It's very similar to the other DS games, except you have a garden to walk, or I shouldn't say walk around, because you just sort of move an icon of Mama's head in each direction. But this one, much like some of the seeds you'll be using, can be a mixed bag.
Awful. Awful, dude.
Sorry.
Partially because you think that a gardening game would be a very peaceful, no-stress game where you check on your plants. But they took the stress and time management of cooking and applied it to gardening. Everything is on some kind of timer or meter where you can fuck up and fail.
Which, of course, gardening isn't easy, but it's not like you make one small mistake and instantly the tulips burn. Like this mini game where you have to pour seeds into your hands. Sounds easy enough, except there are heavy winds blowing the seeds out of your hand. Where are we planting seeds? On the set of Twisters?
So, Oklahoma.
Yeah, the set of Twisters.
What's cool about the game is that you don't just plant flowers or food and watch them sprout up instantly. You have to come back, do new steps to maintain and help them grow.
It seems to apply the same respect for gardening that it does for cooking, making it kind of more educational and the gameplay loop something that would teach somebody that they have to care for a flower or a plant as it grows. But overall, this is not really going to help us with cooking, so we didn't play much of it. We need to get back to the skill that we've been too scared to master for years, because on this channel, we don't face our fears, we ride them.
Cooking Mama 3's big new feature is a game mode called Let's Shop, which has you playing as Ichigo going to the store to get groceries for Mama. So you'd think this added mechanic would be going to the store to learn what groceries to buy for the recipes you're about to make, but they aren't really connected at all.
It's just a separate mini game where you collect food off the ground and avoid eye contact with strangers.
This minigame paints an insane image of the grocery store. There's the sample person like at Costco, but if you enter their line of sight, they demand you gobble up countless samples until the timer runs out.
I had an experience where the second I was done frantically eating samples, I assumed that I could now walk by the employee because she was blocking the way to my floor meat. But it entered me into another round of the minigame. So after stuffing my face a second time, too full to have another bite, I didn't click anything. I didn't want to actually set it off. And then it made me do it again.
Other obstacles in the store feature an employee who's trying to fill your cart with products and people who just generally scare you. You do get rewarded with customization options like clothing for mama and other cosmetics, but you don't actually need to shop for food to play. So as another cooking trial, I chose the pizza recipe from Chop and Shop. I mainly picked pizza because I'd never made dough from scratch before, and I wanted to see if it was as easy as mama made it out to be. So I went to the store and I bought the flour, yeast, mozzarella cheese, and some pre-sliced pepperoni. While mixing everything together, I really had no idea what texture I was aiming for since Cooking Mama's animations aren't the most realistic. I was kind of left to figure out how much to knead the dough, so I just did my best to mix everything in. I just wish Cooking Mama included a mini game to wash your hands first, but rules are rules. I don't think there's supposed to be a bunch of hard clumps in the dough, but I'm sure that'll cook out. After failing to pass the dough tossing mini game, I also unsurprisingly failed it in real life. Instead, I just kind of tossed it from hand to hand and then just mashed it into a circle. I'm sure it's fine. Once the dough was flat, I then spread the tomato sauce on it. I added the cheese and I topped it with pepperoni. Cooking Mama had set the oven to 250 degrees Celsius, which is about 480 degrees Fahrenheit. So once the oven was preheated, I put the pizza in and I set the timer for 30 minutes. The pizza is looking pretty thick. Around the 20-minute mark, I noticed the cheese getting pretty dark, and while I'd love to fully commit to the Cooking Mama instructions, I didn't want to set my fire alarm off for Mama. And after taking it out, I was surprised at how good it looked. It actually looked like a pizza. So I cut it into weird misshapen pieces and tried a piece, and it was actually pretty good.
Pretty good. Pretty not burnt. It's so slick. It's cooked pretty well, actually. I thought it was burnt, but it's not that bad.
So after playing a few of these games, we're both starting to cook a lot more outside of this video.
It's been a little over a month. We're just wearing the same clothes, so it wasn't too jarring. Even as simple as making pasta or broccoli or heating up a baguette to make a delicious little sandwich. Look at my delicious little sandwich. I even tried to make the boursin omelet from the Bayer. I was missing chives, so it didn't look that great visually, but it did taste really good. I think we're starting to build a real confidence with cooking. We're not mastering any skills, but honestly, just the practice of completing recipes step by step in the game and real life is working that muscle. So I guess we're just both hoping to keep it going. I'm sure the next game in the series will continue our cooking journey.
Crafting Mama?
Crafting Mama for the DS was made in 2010 and is the second spin-off game in the Mamaverse, which Google Docs keeps trying to correct to Mommyverse for some reason.
The game is identical to its DS cooking predecessors, except for the fact, and get this, you're crafting. I know.
I don't know how this will really help us with cooking, but I did, make a craft. I made a squirt gun out of a bamboo stick. So yeah, you could say I'm a real squirter.
Ugh! Dude.
Sorry,
I'm your brother. You can't say that next to your brother.
Alright, I'm sorry. Following Crafting Mama, we've got Babysitting Mama.
Yay!
Tuck your Wii remote into baby, connect your nunchuck, then
Hold the baby like mama.
Babysitting Mama is the third Mama game for the Wii, but unlike the others, it shipped with a baby doll to stuff your Wii controller in. I actually found one on eBay and ordered it. Weeks later, I open my front door and see a box for an iSpring T3M pressurized water storage tank. I assumed that the package was delivered to the wrong address, but when I checked the label, it said it was for me. And then it hit me. That's not an iSpring T3M pressurized water storage tank. That is my baby. My baby is in there. After breaking open the packaging, I freed my baby and the Wii game hidden inside. The game, much like other Mama games, is pretty straightforward. You babysit a baby by rocking it,
Good. Great.
Don't rush it. Don't rush it. Do it just like mom. Soothe the baby. Soothe the baby.
burping it,
Wow, that's great.
feeding it milk.
Oh, goodness.
One of my favorite aspects about this game is that it constantly reminds you not to shake the baby. It's even the loading screen when you start to babysit.
No. Please don't shake the baby.
As I rocked the baby to sleep to finish this shift of babysitting, I felt more connected to Mama than I ever have. In a way, I was becoming a bit of a mama myself.
2011 brought us Camping Mama for the Nintendo DS.
The entire family of Mama, Papa, Ichigo, and Ringo leave the kitchen, garden, and babies back at the house to go camping. This is by far the biggest departure from the series. The gameplay consists of clearing stages that do have some cooking mini games like before, but also have you collecting items and completing weird challenge mini games like bug matching or battling mosquitoes. Side note, at one point you collect a tent while you're already camping. We went camping without a tent in the middle of the forest? Mama and Papa, I might call CPS on your ass. What the hell is this? And for the first time in the Mamaverse, enemies are introduced. While walking around stages, they have animals that run into you and deplete your health, but by far the best ones are these little monkeys. They patrol the forest by walking so fast.
Sometimes when you run into them, instead of getting hurt, you're forced into a minigame where you slingshot bananas into their hands, or one where they toss the bananas down to you. I thought you guys liked the bananas. You were going crazy for them earlier.
At one point, Papa gives you a minigame where you shake the brush in the forest to reveal snakes, and then you smash them with a mallet. Can we just leave them alone? This is their habitat. Papa, please don't make me bash these snakes.
Like we mentioned before, there is some cooking, but you need a campfire for that, and I don't think our landlords would like it.
You do cut apples and peel bananas at one point, so as a cooking trial, I did do that. Pretty impressive, right?
Sure. Cooking Mama 4 Kitchen Magic for the 3DS finally brings us back to cooking. At this point, we're gonna be honest, the gameplay is getting old as hell. It's like the exact same every time. Even the spin-offs mostly include you completing little mini games to potentially, if you're lucky, unlock a new apron for Mama.
Kitchen Magic is also weird because a good deal of the dishes seem to require equipment that most people just don't have on hand. Like the dish with plums where you leave them in a barrel overnight and then need to use the awning in your backyard to protect them from rain. We both live in apartments, and in this economy, nobody our age is drying plums anytime soon, I'll tell you that much. Bring the price of the Crunchwrap Supreme down from over $7 and maybe we'll talk. There's also an odd new feature where food hits Mama in the face. Mess up a corn dog skewer, Mama gets hit with a wiener. Put too much mustard on it, Mama gets covered in mustard.
Why would they program being mean to Mama into the game?
Moving on to Gardening Mama 2 Forest Friends, it's gardening, guys. You garden. There's a rabbit that runs a flower shop, and you do gardening mini games to help her run it.
Dude, I'm so tired of doing the chores in these games.
There's only a few more left. We're almost done. Cooking Mama 5 diversifies things a little bit.
There's a study section where you can practice English and even do chores for Mama like feeding her fish and cleaning up. Other than that, the cooking is the exact same.
And now we've reached the final, official, legal, non-mobile game release in the franchise. Cooking Mama Sweet Shop. This game came out in 2017. Did anyone play this?
It's the regular Cooking Mama formula, but focused on baking sweets. The biggest addition is that you now run a bakery. You can sell the food you cook to these weird, slowly animated customers who just sort of bounce around the walls until they run into a dish. You good, man? There's nothing over there.
The series then saw a release on the Nintendo Switch in 2020, but was pulled from store shelves? According to the owner of Cooking Mama, Office Create, they hired another developer to make a Cooking Mama game for the Switch. But when they were brought the game, they had issues with the quality and gave notes for the developer to fix it.
The developer then, according to them, just released the game anyway, sparking a legal battle that settled in Office Create's favor. So the game was pulled from store shelves and online shops. I feel like because of the nature of this release, it's not really an official Cooking Mama game.
And if it makes you feel any better, the game was also reviewed terribly. People hated this game.
The final release of Cooking Mama is a mobile app that mashes all the games together. You have a shop and a garden, and you cook just like the other games, except this time you get to watch ads after every single step of a recipe.
For our final dish, we decided to cook together, and we chose a recipe from the very first Cooking Mama, croquettes, mainly because Tony hadn't had them before.
After playing through the entire available Cooking Mama catalog, I think we can actually say it did make make us better at cooking.
Cooking, like playing an instrument, exercising, or working on any skill, really is just about being willing to fail a little bit and keep learning.
It sounds simple, but wasting ingredients and time on a failed dish kept us from expanding our cooking skills beyond very basic stuff.
And that fear of failure or seeming incompetent can really create a wall that makes it harder and harder to learn as time goes by. But the second that you decide that it's okay to feel a little dumb, it's okay to fail, climbing that wall happens almost instantly.
The cooking games really helped with all of this by allowing us to learn and follow steps without consequences of failure, knowing that Mama would help us. It's clear to see that's what made these games so successful in the first place.
Some of the games didn't do that much to help. I don't feel more skilled at camping after being attacked by monkeys.
The gardening was fine, and I think we're both moms now?
Yeah, I don't really know how it works because it's Babysitting Mama, but like they left the baby with us.
I don't know what to do with this baby.
The croquettes came out even better than we'd hoped and looked exactly like the game for the first time in our cooking trials.
Yeah.
Overall, I know it sounds kind of stupid, but Cooking Mama actually helped us in real life. So Mama, your boys couldn't thank you enough. And Papa, die in a fire.
We don't like you.
Our dad could beat your ass. Don't even try talking to us ever again.